A very warm welcome. Today we have with us Mr. Ankur Saxena, who is the Senior Director and Head of Sales at ACI Worldwide. A very warm welcome. Thank you so much for joining us at CXO TV.
Yeah, thank you, Urmi. Thank you for having me here. I'm thrilled to be a part of this interview. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So before we begin with the session, we would actually like to hear from you how your journey has been so far over the years. If you can share with us, CXO TV audience.
Oh, thanks. So I've been in banking IT industry for the last 25 years. Started my journey with a company called CMC. Moved over to Infosys, where I spent 13 years. From that, I moved to Oracle, their application division heading South Asia and Southeast Asia. And now I joined ACI a couple of years back as head of sales for South Asia. From January, my role has got expanded to head the new markets in Middle East and in East Africa.
Okay. So that's been a very long journey at the banking industry. So we actually look forward to gather insightful knowledge about especially how ACI Worldwide is gaining its global presence, including operations in India. So could you provide an overview of ACI's operation in both contexts and highlight some of the key business milestones that the company has achieved over the years?
Yeah, sure. So ACI has been in the payment industry for real time for the last 45 years. Currently, our headquarters is in Miami, Florida, US. And we have been providing the real-time payment solutions as well as fraud solutions, providing the infrastructure solutions for the banking industry. We also provide the solutions for our merchants and the biller segments, which is largely US. In India, we have been there for the last 25 years, and our journey has been pretty much successful as the top 8 banks of the country are using the ACI-powered solution. We have got banks in all segments, in public sector, the private sector, as well as in the cooperative sector. While we work directly with the banks in most of the places, but we also work with processors for working with the tier 2 and tier 3 cooperative segment.
Okay. Yeah. So could you share some of the best practices that ACI follows in leveraging technologies to provide solutions for its clients? And additionally, if you can address how does ACI embrace and incorporates new age technologies in its offerings?
ACI has to balance between innovation and scale because we need to be agile as per the market needs, as well as to ensure that the large volumes of transactions gets processed by the banks at a given rate. Okay. So what we have found that we need to be agile on the back end side of the product as well as on the middleware. So we have got a payment orchestration platform which not only works seamlessly with the inside product, but also works with outside players like fintechs and other banks. That way bank can leverage the lot of kind of things like KYC, onboarding of customers on the very fast thing. Similarly, on the fraud side, we have been using a lot of machine learning. We are using a lot of AI because what's happening that especially the banks, large banks in India are sitting on the large data. So we have to be kind of pretty alert in terms of what kind of fraudsters things are doing. So what we are saying that we have to be kind of constantly configuring our rule engine so that we can get a score and the transaction can be processed. AI engine is a very strong engine, as you know. I mean, the market is moving towards AI. So we want to do is that we actually have got something called ACI model generator, which actually makes the models for the banks using the rules. And on that basis, banks can themselves send those alerts to the bank. If the transaction is a fair transaction, it goes through. If it is a fault transaction, we can stop the transactions.
Okay. So, as you mentioned, like data being the primary fuel and ACI working on the fraud solution provider. And we have seen how fraud management is a critical aspect, especially in the field of technology. So financial technology rather. And so we would like to understand what are the current trends you are observing in fraud management within the Indian market. And if you could elaborate on ACI's solutions and approaches in combating the fraud in the financial sector.
See, all good things have got certain bad things. So digitization in India has been kind of picking up like a rapid pace. As per our real-time reports, we processed some 28 billion real-time transactions in 2021. And the same trend going, we will be finding that it will be more than 5 times the real-time transactions. So what has happened that this digitization has also kind of have put in a lot of challenges in terms of the fraud solution. So we are also kind of evolving. Largely, the solution of fraud was started with the card-based because that is our strength. But what the large banks in the country are doing, they are leveraging our solution for omni-channels. What it means is that the guy who is sitting on the bank side can actually see a 360-degree view of all the channels at one point of time. And channels, any transaction come to any channels, he can take a decision. So one aspect is to have a 360-degree view. Second is to use the machine learning, as I said, because the transactions are increasing. The customer has to have a lot of data getting stored, and then the patterns are getting developed to ensure that those kind of, there are no false alerts, and also there is no disruption to the transactions. These guys have put in the machine learning around it. So the sequences put in a data science, then put in a machine learning, and based on AI, make the rules. The final goal would be for moving the rule-based engine to a risk-based engine so that it can be more autonomy can be provided to the transactions. So this is one aspect which we have been able to do, and many banks are now using our solution for more than 10 to 15 channels. So this has become a major core solution, like a core banking or a switch. So enterprise fraud management is becoming a major solution for the banks.
Okay. So now in this banking sector, we are seeing constant evolvement happening, and especially, the industry is adapting and innovating at the same time. So what upcoming trends do you foresee in the payment and financial technology sector, and how is ACI positioning itself to address these trends effectively?
Correct. So see, ACI got a global team who follows these trends and probably kind of incorporated in all the next coming releases. And this is how we have been supporting our banks. We are leveraging the new technologies, as I told. On the backend side, we have got very robust engine so that the processing should not get disrupted. We have got a large bank having more than 5,000 TPS on a single instance. So that's why when I said we have to balance between a lot of innovation, scale, resilience, no disruption happening to the customer, that has been our goal.
Okay. So in the financial sector, we see one of the major thing is real-time payments that have gained so much of traction in the coming years. So what are your industry insights on the current state of real-time payments, or how do you envision its growth and impact in the near future?
Yeah, so I'll tell you why the challenge started. See, the challenge has started because of availability of a lot of good things like internet penetration, smartphone availability. So in India, what government did, they probably took an initiative much earlier than the rest of the world, wherein they started with something called JAM. JAM is basically opening a Jan Dhan account for the people who are out of the banking industry. Ensure that the correct person is getting a beneficiary by putting the Aadhaar authentication. And then probably through mobility, we can get the withdrawal done at their own end. So using this, we were also kind of pretty aligned. We also saw a lot of QR code adoption. If you see, a lot of merchants are providing the QR codes. Okay, so these kind of trends have been the reasons for the adoption of real-time payments very quickly. And as I said, we have been kind of the leader for real-time. We have seen 28 million transactions last year. We want to ensure that we provide the agility to the solution and the scale, and to also ensure that there are no frauds happening. So it's a seamless payment orchestration end-to-end, which is an ecosystem which we have been able to provide to the banks.
I completely agree on what you said. Like even in the small vendors today are accepting QR code scans. So it's a great initiative and a transformation that is happening. So at the same time, we also know that ACI Worldwide has conducted research on real-time payments. So could you elaborate more and provide us an overview of this research and share some of the key insights you have gained regarding their adoption and impact of real-time payments in the current market?
Real-time has become a part and parcel of our life. I mean, you can just take a mobile phone without a cash outside, and you need not carry cash. I mean, one of the challenges what we face when we travel outside India is that we are no more habitual of carrying our wallet with us. So this, as I said, in India, being the market leader, having 78% of the market share, we were to ensuring that we were to be very agile in terms of the banks. So we not only kind of did it ourselves, we also have got a collaborative partner who actually is providing the low-value real-time UPI solution. We are working very closely with our banks in terms of the mandates what is provided by the NPCI or the RBI, so that the UPI adoption can be more. The card is becoming an instrument rather than just a debit card for ATM withdrawal. We have seen the cardless withdrawal coming at ATMs. So all these things have been kind of incorporated as a part of the product. So for R is a dual role, if you ask me. One is to ensure that there is no disruption, the transaction goes through. At the same time, the frauds don't happen. And both these are enterprise solutions. There have been a lot of adoption, as you said, in the last mile connectivity. And ACI for that, this thing has provided also a lightweight solution. When I told you that we are not only working directly, but we are also working with processes. So if you see the pyramid, banking pyramid in India, it has got the large banks, then it has got the cooperative banks, and then go to rural banks. So what the processes do is to provide the managed services end to end through a single source. And these are called shared services. So the banks need not have their own hardware, their own infrastructure setup. So these processors have been using our solutions. And as I said, a huge kind of coverage has been done by our partners in this space.
Okay. So, this customer experience is again a very crucial factor in the success of adapting any kind of technology solutions. So how does ACI Worldwide prioritize and enhance the customer experience in its offerings, particularly in context to the real-time payments and fraud management solution?
See, UX, if it asks me, is a differentiator. As a solution, what you should provide is the flexibility of banks to have their own UI setups. Okay, banks should have their own digital this thing. We need to ensure that whenever these guys provide those solutions, we should be ready with this kind of changes. So when I spoke about payment orchestration, we have got a layer called UPF, which is Unified Payment Framework. This payment framework is a very lean framework which allows the outside world to talk to the ACI switch. Similarly, the ACI switch can have a lot of players in the third parties, fintechs, who can actually be very supportive to kind of have things like customer onboarding and know your customers, etc. So, we provide that flexibility. In terms of the fraud management, when I said that we can provide you with a 360-degree view of all the channels, we have got a very strong dashboard. The dashboard allows you to kind of capture the data, go through machine learning, provide the AI, and provide a score to it. And then the dashboard allows you to take a decision at a very quick time. And we have seen that the things are, evolving. As you said, behavioral things are changing. People are kind of doing transactions from different geolocations. So all these things are parameterable. These are configurable as a part of our solution, which provides a lot of flexibility to the banks.
Okay. So, coming to the concluding part, we have seen so much of adoption and technological acceptance, especially in the banking sector, which is always a crucial, because money is something nobody wants to lose. And being in this particular field, we are seeing so much of advancement. So I think it's going to evolve further in the coming years and give a more seamless opportunity to the customers as you want. So thank you for joining at CXO TV and sharing your insightful knowledge with us. It was a pleasure talking to you.
The pleasure is mine as well. And it's very good that you are taking these initiatives and people are kind of hearing the thoughts of the global companies, how they are becoming local and ensuring that we continue to be supporting our clients. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.